Morning. I am getting ready to paint the door, the outside of the door, this part, because Rob, when he got home, he looked at it and said, you know what, why don't you paint the whole entire door? And I said, yeah, why not? And I might paint the bathroom door too. I might. I don't know yet. But I want to start painting this one, get this one done, and then I'll decide what I'm going to do. But I wanted to go over this step by step with you because I get so many questions on exactly what I'm doing, what graining tool to use, etc. I did want to mention that we got an 1.5 inches of rain, 1.5 inches yesterday, which was amazing. Amazing. We're still behind, but at least we got 1.5 inches. That's a start. When I'm working on projects like this, the first thing I do is I use this. This is called Crud Cutter, and it gets rid of grime, grease, fingerprints, etc. I make sure that what I'm painting is very clean to make sure the paint sticks to the surface. Number 2, I remove the door handles. I don't remove the inner workings because those can stay in there because I will just take those off. Number 3, I tape everything off. I tape the windows off or the glass. I tape edges if I'm doing the door. I tape that because I don't want bleed into my already painted surface. So those 3 things will set you up for success. This is what my door currently looks like. If you're just new here or haven't seen this, I painted this side of the door and then I painted this edge right here. So now I'm going to paint this side and then the inside edge. So I want to make sure that there is no bleed into this side. So I carefully, and I might have to move this, I carefully tape this edge off so it won't bleed in there. And then I also taped off my hinges so I won't have paint on those either. A while ago, I bought a kit, and the kit consisted of this liquid wood and light wood. This is the primer. It also came with this, which I don't think I've ever used this. This is a gel stain, and it came with smaller colors, if I'm not mistaken. I did buy these 2 on their own, but in this kit, I got 2 different sized graining tools. I got this one for bigger surfaces and the smaller one. And I use both of them equally. I'm getting ready to paint the door, and I'm going to use this. Again, this is light wood. It's the color light wood and liquid wood. You have to shake this up really well because I think it settles a lot on the bottom. And I'm going to paint this in the direction that I want my grain to go. And I'll show you what I mean here in a second. You paint it either vertically or horizontally, depending how you want your door, the grain to go on your door or whatever surface you're painting. This door is actually made of wood. It's a wooden door. And the seam right here, this is where I want my grain to stop. So I'm going to paint this board vertically, and then I'm going to paint this one horizontally. I'm not too worried about the actual primer right now, but when it comes to the stain part and the graining tool, I will tape this section off to get a very crisp line of quote unquote grain. I just put 1 coat of the primer on this door, and as you can see, the brush strokes are going vertically and then horizontally, vertically and horizontally. I'm going to pull out my fan to kind of speed this up, get it dry, and then I'll come back with a second coat, and then I'll show you how to use the graining tool. If I want to speed things up, I just use a fan because it dries rather quickly. And my unsolicited advice is what I always say. When you're finished with a project like this, before you shut the door, I would give it a couple days to cure to make sure it's really, really dry. And then when I'm finished with this entire door, I am going to go back and add a layer of matte polyurethane to make sure that it's sealed in case somebody's walking by and, you never know. I did get a question as to about using this on a metal door. I think I'm going to try it. I'm going to try it on this side door, and then I'm also going to try it on our front door. The side door is metal, and I think, first of all, in between coats, I always put my paintbrush in a plastic bag just to keep it from drying out. But back to the metal door. I don't know why you couldn't. As long as your door is clean and then you seal it, I don't know why it wouldn't work. But I'm seriously considering doing this door. It's this one right here. It's the one you walk in. Alrighty, I got the door. I gave the door another coat and I'm waiting on it to dry. It's almost dry. And then I'll show you how I use the graining tool. I just finished, I'll take you in here. I've been working on these doors in here, and I wanted to show you how far I am. And I made a boo-boo because this wasn't all the way dry, and this is what it looks like when it's not dry. These are the doors I was working on prior to the weekend when we had our grandkiddos and our son and daughter-in-law. And these are done. These are done, and I'm absolutely loving how they turned out. So I started up here. I used the one stain. I used the graining tool. That one looks good. And then this one wasn't all the way dry. So see that booger mark right there? That's my own fault. But I'm hoping that when I go over it with the stain a couple more times, it will cover that up. But I'm excited to get this door completely painted, and it will be done today. I have a hair appointment at 1. Another appointment. But these grays are getting way out of hand. I used my little trick to cover them up, so they're looking really good right now. But I'm wanting to see what this door looks like, and then will it look weird having this door wood and then these two not? That's going to be my next thing. Do I paint all of them? And especially if I paint that one, do I paint all, or do I just, I'm going to have to ask ChatGPT and see what he says. While the door is still drying, I'll show you what I use all the time to cover the grays up. I've shown you this several times, but I don't think I told you about my appointment with the ENT, and that I have an appointment with an ENT at Chapel Hill. I go there next Friday. He is a Sjogren specialist, and he also scopes salivary glands. The ENT that I saw a couple of weeks ago when this gland started going a little crazy, he referred me to Chapel Hill's ENT department. And I have an appointment with them because he is hopeful, this local ENT is hopeful that the Chapel Hill ENT can stick a camera in through your ducts, look into the glands to see if there are any strictures. They can check for scarring, and they can also inject steroids into your glands to kind of calm them down. This gland right now, it's probably, I can feel a little knot in there, and there isn't a tumor, there's nothing like that. This is just still inflammation, but it's way better than what it used to be, and so is this one. So I'm hopeful that this new ENT at Chapel Hill will be able to keep this from happening again. I'm very hopeful that they can do that. Now, the procedure, I think they put you to sleep because they have to stick the camera through your duct in your mouth. And it's a teeny, 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 tiny camera that goes in there and looks. So I'm hoping that that works. And the Sjogren's, I'm hoping he can give me advice on that too. One other thing, I don't think I ever told you, but I don't know if let's get up close and personal. I don't know if you've ever noticed this scar. It goes all the way down here and it goes all the way up by my ear. I had this parotid gland removed in November of 2013 because there was a mass. And it did turn out to be a certain B-cell lymphoma, extranodal marginal. That's the whole biopsy report. And they removed the gland except for the little tail, and they also removed a lymph node. I never had to have treatment. I never had to have chemo or radiation because it was just localized in that area. I followed oncology for 10 plus years. They draw my LDH, which is it's kind of a cancer marker in your blood, and mine's always been within normal range. So I usually follow up once a year. I also do checks to make sure I don't have any lumps or bumps. I also watch to make sure I don't have weight loss, fever, chills, night sweats, etc. I'm always alert, not only for myself, but for Rob But shortly after I had it removed, I went to Indy for a second opinion, and that doctor was very gracious and explained to me multiple times, because I just couldn't get it through my head how you remove cancer and you don't treat it. It was mind-blowing. But that doctor reassured me that this type, the B-cell lymphoma, extranodal marginal, is a type of cancer that is usually they find it in autopsies of people that have passed away, but this cancer just sits there and doesn't really, it's not the reason why people pass away. And the reason why I found this one is because with Sjogren's, your glands, your salivary glands, like to swell and go back down and swell and go back down. And this one was swollen and never went back down. I'm just saying that because I don't think I'm telling you this because I don't think I've ever told you that. I don't think I've ever shared that. But if you ever see that scar, that's where it's from. I also wanted to mention that when I was diagnosed with Sjogren's 18 years ago, I was doing research on it, and I found out that there's a 10% chance of getting lymphoma because of the chronic inflammation, and that's where this type of lymphoma comes from. It's called MALT, if I'm not mistaken, M-A-L-T, and it's from the chronic inflammation. So I'm hoping that this guy in Chapel Hill, if he needs to put me to sleep and squirt some steroids in there to kind of calm everything down, go ahead. Knock yourself out. Let's just keep these guys happy. All right, let's talk about something happy. Let's go paint this door. Let's use the graining tool, I should say. So I'm sure, yeah, this is dry. So now I'll show you the next step. All right, I am back. I got my hair done. I ran by the grocery store really quickly, picked up a couple of things, and now I'm going to try to figure out where I was when I left off in the stories, catch you up on that. Hi, Bugaboo, and continue working on the door. Next step of using the graining tool and making this look like wood is you tape off the sections that you want the grain to go one way. So I'm going to paint these sections first. So I'm going to tape the seam on the inside on this board. I'll do it on the top and on the bottom. These are all taped off, and I do leave this edge open because I want to be able to get my paintbrush in and paint all the way down. Same thing here. I always leave this little edge open so I can get my paintbrush in and paint all the way down. To do this part is a brush and the graining tool itself. I always grab some paper towels, and then this is the color I'm using. This is Old Oak, and this stain has, it looks like little flecks of something in it, but it has darker colors in to make the stripes look. So if you're watching it go on and you're thinking, why does this look streaky? It's because there are little pieces of pigment, flecks of pigment, that when you use your brush, they spread out and they look like grain. I always add a very thin coat of the stain. If you do a thicker coat, it tends to run. So the thinner, the better. And you need to use long strokes when you're painting this on to make sure that it looks like grain. I just like to rock it back and forth. If I don't like the look, I just go over it again. You can smooth it out as much as you want, but this is how I tend to do this. And it leaves this grain. What it looks like after I've used the graining tool. Now, I don't like this really prominent grain. So if I had a dry brush, I would use that, but I don't. So I usually take my stain brush and I take all of the excess stain off of it, and I just go over this just to make sure that I get rid of some of these really prominent grain marks. And this is just what I do. Now they don't stick out. They're not very visible, but that's kind of how I like it. I like it just to be a little more subtle, very, very subtle. But again, you can leave it how you want it. But that's what it looks like after I use the brush on it. The door is completely dry now, so I am going to use this. This is the next stain color. This is Dark Oak, and I usually put 4 coats of this on. If you look in there, you can see all those little bits. Those are the darker bits that I talk about, that when you put the stain on and you use your brush, it spreads those out, and that's what makes those little streaks. This door has 2 coats of the stain on it, and I can see I didn't brush that out very well, so I probably will kind of work around that so it doesn't stand out so much. And then I did get this door completely finished, so that's good. So these 2 doors are finished. The only thing that I have to do is give this edge one more, maybe it doesn't need any more. I don't think it does, now that I'm looking at it. And then I just need to do the inside, and then these doors are done. Here is an update on the door. I'm finished with these 2, and I won't be able to finish the rest of it tonight because I have a tennis match. I have to leave in an hour, and I want to make sure that this is completely dry before I put the tape on it. But I'm loving how this is turning out. If you look up close, I don't know if camera will catch it, but because there's paint underneath here, do you see that? It's almost like a crackle finish. It looks like there's polyurethane on here and it's been there for years. That's what it looks like. So I'm gonna let this dry, and maybe tonight, no, I got a tennis match at 7:30. I'll work on this tomorrow and get that painted. And then tomorrow I will give it a coat of polyurethane to make sure everything's sealed, and then I'll put the hardware on. But let me see if I can shut this a little bit. Let me see what this looks like. Okay. Okay, I'm liking it. First, you know I love this song. You're only lonely. You're only lonely. Second, I was influenced to get this street corn dip and use these corn chip dippers. This is from Aldi. Don't do it. I haven't given you the update on the tennis thing because this is very interesting. My friend Teresa, she is on a team. It's a 55 and over mixed doubles team. If I'm not mistaken, they have gone to state for the last, I don't know how many years, because they've never had competition from other teams. Because Teresa and I have a friendly competition, I put a team together. So I put a team together, and then somebody else put a team together this year. So there are 3 teams playing against each other. Tonight, we are playing against a team that is in 3rd place. We are currently in 2nd against Teresa's team in 1st. If we sweep all 3 courts tonight, we could possibly win if we win Saturday. I've been praying all day. Lord, just my goal when I play is just let me play well. If you know anything about playing a sport, it can get right up in here. And that happens to me quite often. I think I'm good, and then all of a sudden, I play like I'm on fire, and then the second set, it's like somebody turned the light off. No one's home. I usually end up hitting every ball into the net, hitting it out, because I'm just so tight. So I was talking to someone yesterday about that and just trying to work through it. I've just been praying all day. Lord, doesn't matter if we win or lose. Let me play well. That's my goal. Let me walk off the court with my head held high. Instead of walking off the court going, there, I did it again. One other thing, I shared this top a while ago. This is one of my favorites. It's just a regular workout top. I have 2 white tops, 2 tennis tops. So do I wear the one that has polyurethane, a stain, or do I wear this one that's older that has a stain? Which stained one should I wear? I forgot to tell you. Well, first of all, false alarm. I didn't have to wear either. I found my pink one. This one's perfect. A couple of things. I ordered some wallpaper off of, I think it's called 70s wallpaper. I have like 7 or 8 different samples coming. I think they might be here tomorrow. That's number 1. Number 2, I found another cabinet that's about an hour away that might fit our bathroom better. I feel like that one's a little too wide. And if this one is still there by tomorrow, I might just bite the bullet and go get it. Because this one, hold on. The one in the bathroom currently is 38 inches wide. And the one that is on Facebook Marketplace is 30. Those 8 inches on that wall, I think would help. Because I feel like it's a little cramped right now. So again, if it's still there tomorrow, I don't want to drive an hour, but you know what? And then I'm going to have 2 cabinets. Where do I put the one? I might have to put it in the kitchen until I resell it. I don't know. But I do want, the one that's in the bathroom right now has a red interior and it needs to be white. So I'll keep you updated and let you know if I'm going to take a road trip tomorrow. I went on the court at 7:30. I'm just walking off. That was a 2-hour match and we swept all 3 courts. And I played well. It was a tough match, but I played well. Now I have to get ready for Saturday. I have to get mentally ready